I'm Keon Wakefield, and my chapter was on burnout and overtraining. This is my strength conditioning coach, George Carpenter, and he's going to be helping me today. I just want to ask you a couple questions today and about burnout and overtraining. The first question I would like to ask you is, what does it mean to be burnt out or overtrained to you?
Burnout or overtrained in my field is an athlete who has been working out for a period of time and has not stopped to rest or take any kind of break of some sort, or hitting the same muscle group over and over again. And you see the signs in mental, physical, psychological health, and that's just kind of like the overview of it. And then burnout is a little bit different from overtraining. Burnout, you see the kid or the athlete from a mental side of it being burnout. He gets uncomfortable doing the same thing over and over again. He gets tired of working out. Overtraining is doing the training over and over again, expecting higher results, but you're just working and fatiguing the muscle too far and taking it to the limit.
You said something about signs in there, and I was going to ask you, what are the signs of being burnt out to you?
So the signs of being burnt out would be, I see an athlete he's getting tired of coming in to the weight room because he doesn't have the motivation to work out anymore, nor does he come in with the same mindset or attitude just because he's getting, it's not that he's getting complacent, he's just getting tired of doing the same things over and over again. Why am I doing this? I don't feel like doing this, starts complaining, getting in the wrong mindset to get a good workout in. So that's the burnout side of it.
How many days out of the week you think you should get rest?
Everyone's different. It depends on how you train as well too. Obviously, with all the workouts nowadays, the CrossFit, and you work in big full body movements and full body groups. So that's kind of a full body thing, and that's a whole different aspect. But for what we're doing here is, we train the upper, and then we go to a lower. While the upper is lifting, the lower is resting. When you do lower, the upper is resting. So typically we do a 3-day split or 4-day split, depending on season, depending on the activity outside as well. Strictly for in the weight room though, we'll lift 4 days, have an off day of lifting weights, and then we'll have a speed and conditioning day. But you want to at least give the weekend off a lot of times, and just to get the bodies to recover. And it all depends on how, like I said, the intensity of the workout in each session you are doing.
What are ways to prevent overtraining?
Ways to prevent overtraining are looking at your sets and reps at the end of the day, looking at your rep schemes when you do your programming, your macro, micro, and meso cycles at the beginning, and really just looking at it and dissecting the lifts, what reps, the volume you're doing during those lifts and reps and sets. And there's some formulas involved there and that other people have created and tested, which are successful. And you kind of take them when you do your programming and you implement those things, and that's kind of what you get.
As a weightlifting coach, I know you see a lot of cases and all this and that, but how often do you see people overtrain and burnt out?
You see it. We try to monitor as best we can here, but you do see it a lot when you go to the gym or the occasional here and there. But you start seeing it, when, especially like in camp, is kind of the burnout when you're constantly going, you're practicing football, you're lifting weights constantly, and you never get time off. Your time off is always spent doing something else, with football or something like that. So you kind of get burned out of that football mindset. And but when you're doing it for a month period of time or weeks at a time, it really takes a toll mentally on you. From the burnout standpoint, like I said, it's doing the same things over and over again, and just getting weary of it. And you let your mind get the best of you, even though your body is still okay. But it's more of a mental aspect. Now, Did you ask about the overtraining as well? It affects. What was the read the full question again?
How often do you see people overtraining burned out?
Okay, now overtraining, you see that a lot. You go to the Gold's Gym, obviously the guy you see that, is lifting upper body all day, every day, and his legs look like pencils. And, he's lifting and he's wondering, why he's 4 weeks in and it's, now he's starting to lose weight on his bench press or whatever he's doing. And he's thinking at this point in time he should be gaining weight. Well, he's overtrained his body, and his body's starting to break down to the point where he has no recovery time for his muscles to actually build because he's always working them. And that's when you have to find a substitute of a supplement or a steroid to get into your system. So, which is illegal, but you see these people doing it, and it takes a toll on their bodies. But they expect results, but they're not seeing them because they just keep on working that same muscle group and not giving it a chance to rest. So that's when you start seeing the overtraining happen. Injuries, stress fractures in the bones, sprains, strains in the muscles, and tendons, and etc.
Do you think burnout can lead to depression?
Burnout, yes. So, like I said, you keep on doing the same thing. Say, for instance, like I said, if you bench press every day for months at a time, you get tired of doing that movement. You get to a point where you're going to hit you're going to hit your peak. When you are lifting, and you're going to hit your muscle. You're not going to say you start 135, you get to 225. You made a big jump, but once you get to that 225 and you hit your peak, it's hard to get past that peak, and you're going to keep on training, and you may only get 5-pound jumps. If I want, and you go to 230, and all of a sudden I did all this work for 5 pounds, I should be a lot stronger than this, and then you start doubting yourself, doubting the program, doubting little things, but it's your genetic makeup that you're not going to be gaining that many pounds once you hit your wall there. And then they start feeling, oh, I got it, I'm doing something wrong, or pointing a finger, they doing something wrong, and then you start falling into a slump of, questioning your own body, everyone else, and then you're thinking your mind starts to warp. So that's kind of what you kind of see, and it's not a deep depression, but you don't feel good about yourself anymore like when you started.
As a weightlifting coach, I know you all work out all the time, but have you ever been burnt out or overtrained?
Yeah, I mean, it's like when you're doing the same thing, you have 4 groups a day coming in, and it's the same lift over and over again. Depending on how intense that lift is and what your job is during that lift, day by day, you get burned out a little bit just by doing that same thing over and over again, and it's very redundant. That's why we like to kind of switch up the lifts a little bit, rotate who does what, because it will drain on you, and and if the same kids are making the same mistakes and you've taught it 1,000 times, and then the next group comes in and they're making the same mistakes, and you find yourself repeating yourself, 1,000 times, it does take a toll on your mind, and but then it goes to your body, but it's something as a job you sign up for, so that's what you do.
Mentally, how did you recover from it, from being burnt out?
You just got to get away. On a weekend or on the off day, you got to take your mind elsewhere and take it away from work, which is any kind of work environment. Even if you're working in a cubicle and you sit at your desk, typing a computer all day, every day, you get tired of doing it, regardless of what it is. So you got to have an outlet to get your mind elsewhere.
Have you seen someone be burnt out but still perform well?
Yeah. There's some kids that their genetic makeup and from their mother and father is they have very good genes, and they may not have the good mindset or attitude after a while, and when test day comes, they can still perform just because their bodies are built that way, unlike some other kids who aren't as genetically gifted as others, but sometimes that role plays an effect, and so I have seen it, But once that day comes and they hit their things, and they're like, oh well, wow, I still got it. It kind of gives them a little bit of a little push and gets them out of that slump. But I have seen cases of it, not advanced, but small cases.
Now, I know you see a lot of people throughout the day. Does everyone have the same point where they feel burnt out?
No, everyone's different. I mean, everyone's got their everyday different things they deal with, from school life to home life to girlfriend, whatever it is. So everyone comes in with a different mood. Some kids, the weight room helps it. Some kids, it makes it worse. So, but you never know what's going on all the time in their life. So, the weight room is sometimes an outlet, good or bad sometimes, but it's my job to encourage and build the person up to perform better as best as they can. And hopefully at the end of the day, it makes them, see they can, do something that they couldn't do before, and raises their spirits a little bit. But it may be a little thing or maybe a big thing. It may be, hey, just saying, hey, good job, or whatever, or getting a little bit heavier on weight. Whatever it is, you'd always want to have them come in feeling differently when they leave with a positive mindset on things.
Now, to me, this is the most important question. How important is recovery?
Recovery is good. Like I said, you need your body to rest. And and it's by taking care of it not only in the weight room, just by resting it, but giving it the right fuel, as in protein, eating, drinking water, and giving your body what it needs to recover during that rest period. Like I said, if you lift heavy, you go home, you don't eat the right things, you don't drink the right water, your body's rest is going to it's going to be a lot longer recovery to rest than it would be if the same guy lifts heavy, gets the protein, gets the water he needs. His body's going to recover faster than the guy who doesn't. So recovery process is, we have a certain amount of time to get people ready to play football. And in that window, the people who recover and take care of their bodies themselves and have a good mindset on it do it a lot faster than the guys who think they don't need the other things. During that rest period, they recover slower. And then you see them get injured and the other guys don't. But, you got to look back and see really what you were doing during your rest time. So, if even though you go out maybe to a party and you could be sleeping, I mean, that's your decision. Yes, you had fun and it got you away from football, but was it the best thing for your body to recover? So when you look at it like that, there's a lot of factors involved, but at the end of the day, it's how each person handles it.
Well, thank you. That's all the questions I have for you. And again, my chapter was on burnout and overtraining.